characterization of wastewater. A very important topic, because slowly we are entering into the treatment of the wastewater. And today we'll start discussing the topic of the characterization of the sewage. That is mostly the domestic sewage, mainly the sanitary wastewater and the industrial wastewater, which is the municipal wastewater. That characterization of the wastewater we'll discuss, and later on we'll discuss at the end of this module, that is the module 4, we'll discuss the quality of discharge quality standards. What is the allowable value you have to maintain before discharging into the natural resources? So fine. So the wastewater contains the physical, chemical, and biological parameter like the water. So what is the physical parameter? Physical parameter is the turbidity of the water. Then the temperature I will discuss, color, odor. These are the physical parameters of the wastewater which we have to characterize. That means these values are observed physically, like the turbidity, like the color, like the odor and temperature, which we can feel by physical observation. So these are under the physical observation, physical characterization of the water. And under the chemical characterization, the wastewater characterization mainly the total solid, suspended solid and dissolved solid, because by test results these values characterization can be obtained in the laboratories. That cannot be obtained just physical observation, that can be obtained by the test results in the laboratory. That will be shown in the laboratory classes, how to measure the total solids, how to measure the suspended solids, and how to measure the dissolved solids and volatile solid also. So these are under the chemical characterization of the water. Then pH value of water, which we can measure by pH probe, that I will describe. Then the chloride content of water, that is also the volumetric titration method by chemical analysis. That is the volumetric titration method, we can determine what is the chloride content of the wastewater. Then the nitrogen content, which is very important to see the water treatment process, that I will discuss in details. Then the fats, greases and oils, sulfides, sulfates and hydrogen gas, and most importantly dissolved oxygen. Biochemical oxygen demand, that is the VOD, is very important parameter characterization of the wastewater, that can be determined. Chemical oxygen demand, that is also determined. Mostly the biochemical oxygen demand is a biochemical process, that means biological as well as chemical process. Why biological? The bacteria is involved, the degradation of the organic matter by bacteria, that is why it is bio. And chemical means the oxidation of the organic matter takes place by the bacteria, so this is also the biochemical process we are telling. That will be discussed in, these are the mainly the parameters which we have shortlisted to you, which will be deliberated by me serially. And we'll discuss the numerical problems on the parameters also. For furthermore the clarifications like pH, like BOD, COD, these problem numerical sums will also solve. And finally we'll check the allowable limits of the characterization, these parameters, what are the allowable values as per the BIS standard, that I will see before discharging into the natural resources. Now why this characterization of the wastewater is very important, what is the significance of these studies? Because we have to treat the wastewater before discharging into the natural resources, so that the ecosystem should not be disturbed. And the treatment process depends on what are the parameters, what is the characterization of the wastewater, what are the parameters contained in the wastewater, that we must check, because our treatment procedure will follow on the parameters which is present in the wastewater. So that's why the determination of the parameters of the wastewater is very, very important. To find out the characterization of the wastewater in the laboratory is very, very important, and it is pre-requirement of any treatment process of wastewater. Mainly in your syllabus, it is the municipal wastewater that we will discuss. And municipal wastewater, as I've told you earlier, it contains the domestic wastewater as well as the industrial wastewater. So let us discuss one by one that the temperature. What is the effect of temperature? The effect of temperature means all these parameters will have an effect on the treatment of the wastewater. All these parameters that vis-a-vis we are saying the characterization of the wastewater, that will have an effect on the treatment of wastewater. How? Because temperature, say one physical parameter or characterization of the wastewater I am discussing, it is influencing the solubility of oxygen, that means dissolved oxygen in the wastewater. So it is useful in indicating solubility of oxygen, which affects transfer capacity of aeration equipment in aerobic system, and state rate of biological activity. In secondary treatment process, biological treatment process is very, very important when we will discuss in detail in the treatment process, and that depends on the temperature on which it is being functioned. Extremely low temperature in cold country, say, it adversely affect on the efficiency of the biological treatment system, because bacteria in the biological system will not efficiently work in the cold temperature. And the efficiency of sedimentation in general, under Indian condition, the temperature of the raw sewage is observed to be between 15 to 35 degrees centigrade at various places in different seasons. Because in the sedimentation process, efficiency of sedimentation, say primary treatment process, that also depends on the temperature. So temperature has an effect on biological activity, has an effect on the soluble gases in the wastewater, has an effect on the viscosity of sewage, has an effect on the sewage sedimentation process, like primary treatment process in the wastewater. So that temperature will have an effect on these conditions which I have indicated you. So that is why the physical parameter temperature will have an impact on the treatment processes. Now we'll discuss the turbidity. Sewage is normally turbid, resembling dirty dish water or wastewater from baths, having other floating materials like facial matter, pieces of paper, cigarette ends, matchsticks, greases, vegetable debris, etc., which makes turbidity of the water. And turbidity increases, the sewage becomes stronger. More the turbidity, the sewage is much stronger, that we must say. Now the degree of turbidity can be measured by the digital turbidimeter, that is the nephelometric turbidity meter, in NTU, that is nephelometric turbidity unit. So it will be discussed also in details. Now let me consider the pH. pH gives us the pH. I will discuss later on because it is a chemical parameter. Let me discuss the color and odor. First, I will cover the physical, then I will come to the chemical one. What is the color and odor? The fresh domestic sewage has slightly soapy and cloudy appearance, that you must see from the drain water. Fresh, I am discussing about the fresh domestic sewage. As time passes, the sewage becomes stale, that means the color becomes blackish in nature. darkening in color with a pronounced smell due to microbial activity. So this is the color of the sewage can normally be detected by the naked eye. So that is why it is the physical parameter and indicates the freshness of the sewage. As I have told you that the slightly soapy color means it is a fresh sewage, and it is a gray color, it is a fresh sewage, and if it is the blackish in nature, then definitely it is a stale condition. That means its appearance, it is the appearance of microbial activity is there. So the dark appearance will indicate stale and septic sewage. So this is the thing. Industrial sewage, if we are talking for, then this color will be have a different color than that municipal domestic sewage, like for residential building. Now the odor fresh sewage is practically odorless, but however 3 to 4 hours it becomes stale, with all oxygen present in sewage being practically exhausted. So long as the oxygen is present, no odor is taking place. But when the oxygen is exhausted in the sewage, then the odor comes into play, and it then starts emitting offensive odors, especially that of hydrogen sulfide gas, which is formed due to decomposition of the sewage. So the odor of the wastewater can be measured in terms called the threshold odor number, that is the TON, threshold odor number, which represent the extent of dilution required to just make the sample free of odor. So this is all about the color and odor. Next, I will discuss the temperature. I have discussed, color, odor I have discussed, turbidity I have discussed. Now the coming to the point of the solid content. These solids in the laboratory, you are finding out the total solid, dissolved solid, suspended solid. Why solid content is important parameter? Because our main motto is do treatment of the wastewater, and generally contains less than 0.5%, although sewage contains less than 0.5% solid, because maximum portion of the sewage is water, still the nuisance caused by the solids cannot be overlooked. Although a small percentage of solid is in the whole wastewater, if you see, because 0.5% only the solid, but the nuisance caused by the solids cannot be overlooked, as these solids are highly degradable and therefore need proper disposal. The sewage solids may be classified into, as I have told you, the suspended, dissolved, and the volatile solids also. Knowledge of the volatile or organic fraction of the solid which decomposes becomes necessary, as the constitutes the load on biological treatment units or oxygen resources of streams when sewage is disposed of by dilution. The estimation of the suspended solids, both organic and inorganic, gives a general picture of the load on sedimentation and grit removal system during sewage treatment. Why we have to cautious about that content of the solid? Because depending on the solid content, we have to go for the process of the sedimentation process, because sedimentation process depends on the solid content in the wastewater. Now, dissolved organic fraction is to be considered when sewage is used for land irrigation or any other use is planned. So it is so chemical analysis is therefore carried out to sewage in order to determine the chemical characteristics of the wastewater. How we can determine the solid content, total solid, dissolved solid, suspended solid, that can, the experiment can be shown in the laboratory. How it can be done in the hot water oven by evaporating the water, how we can take the solid content weight, that will be discussed in the laboratory portion. So this is the thing, the solid contents, we must have to know the allowable value. That we'll see what will be the values of the characteristics at the end of the discussion as FEL standards as per the BIS methods before discharging into the natural resources. Now next I will discuss the nitrogen and phosphorus. As we know, the in the treatment process, when we will discuss in the treatment process, before going to the treatment process in module number 5, in module number 4, detailed discussion will be carried out on the characterization of wastewater, because unless you don't understand the characterization of wastewater, that means the parameter under consideration, then it will be very difficult to go for the appropriate treatment processes. But well in advance, I am telling you that the biological treatment process, that is the secondary treatment process, is a predominant process of the treatment of wastewater, and there the presence of nitrogen and phosphorus are essential because of the growth of the bacteria, because these are the nutrients of the growth of the bacteria, and it will help to grow the bacteria. So it will augment the treatment efficiency of the biological treatment. So nitrogen compounds are basically the proteins, amines, amino acids, urea, ammonia, nitrogen in sewage results from the bacterial decomposition of these organic constituents. Now nitrogen being an essential component of the biological protoplasm, its concentration is important for proper functioning of biological treatment, as I have said just now. So domestic sewage, that means which are containing the residential domestic wastewater, basically these are containing the nitrogen to take care of the needs of the biological treatment. But industrial wastewater, if sufficient nitrogen is not there, then the nitrogen from externally has to be added for augmentation of the biological treatment. That is the secondary process. Generally, nitrogen content in the untreated sewage is observed to be in the range of 22 milligram per liter, measured as total gel nitrogen, that is TKL. Now, another nutrient is the phosphorus, which will be helpful for the bacterial growth in the biological treatment of wastewater. And this is contributing to domestic sewage from food and their breakdown products. The use of increased quantities of synthetic detergents also adds some phosphorus into the sewage. Phosphorus also an essential nutrient for the biological process because the bacteria is there. So the concentration of phosphorus in domestic sewage is generally adequate to support aerobic biological wastewater treatment process. So before the biological treatment process, we have to know the nutrient condition. That means what is the content of the nutrient, nitrogen, and what is the phosphorus, what is the content of the phosphorus present in the wastewater for the biological treatment process. So that's why it is very, very important to this characterization of the wastewater, that phosphorus and nitrogen presence should be known. What are the values present in the wastewater before going for the biological treatment? Now chloride. Concentration of chlorides in sewage is greater than the normal chloride content of water. Chloride concentration excess than the water supplied can be used as an index of the strength of sewage. So we can ascertain the strength of sewage depending on the chloride concentration. If the chloride concentration is more, that means it is a sewage strength is very high. The daily contribution of the chloride sewage about 8 gram per person. Based on the average sewage flow of 150 liter per capita per day, this would result in the chloride content of sewage being 50 milligram per liter higher than that of the water supply. Any abnormal increase should indicate discharge of chloride bearing waste or saline groundwater infiltration. There may be the saline groundwater infiltration in the sewage water if sudden abnormal is coming into our eye. So the latter adding to the sulfides as well, why may lead to excessive generation of the hydrogen sulfide. So that chloride content also has to be ascertained before the treatment process, and the determination of chloride is very, very important for knowing the value before the treatment process. And the chloride content can be measured in the laboratory by titrating wastewater with standard silver nitrate solution that I will show in the laboratory how to measure the chloride content with potassium dichromate, potassium chromate as an indicator. So that will be the part of that titration process, volumetric process of the laboratory work. That chloride, how it will be determined it can be found out the volumetric method of analysis titration process. Now, very, very important parameter I am going to enter, that is the organic matter present in water, and its organic matter will be measured by two classic parameters. One is the biochemical oxygen demand, another is the chemical oxygen demand. That I will discuss later on. But organic compounds present in the sewage are basically the purpose of our civil engineers as well as environmental engineers, because we want to remove the organic material from wastewater, which are the waste in the waste material, mostly the organic, and our target is to remove the organic carbonaceous organic matter in the wastewater. Now, a large variety of microorganisms interact with the organic material, biological process that we will discuss, by using it as energy or material source. The utilization of the organic material by microorganisms is called metabolism. The conversion of organic material by microorganisms to obtain energy is called the catabolism, and the incorporation of organic material in the cellular material is called the anabolism. So there are three terminologies I am describing: metabolism, catabolism, anabolism. Again I repeat, metabolism is the utilization of the organic matter by the bacteria. Utilization of the material by the bacteria is called metabolism. Conversion of organic material by microorganism to obtain energy is called the catabolism, and the incorporation of organic material in the cellular material is called the anabolism. So these three terminologies will be very, very important while degradation of the organic matter by the bacteria. Now, BOD, which is BOD, I must say, BOD is biochemical oxygen demand. That means it is what? It is oxygen requirement. Oxygen demand means BOD is the oxygen requirement of oxygen by whom? By bacteria for oxidizing the organic matter present in the wastewater. That means BOD gives us the strength of wastewater, strength of organic matter in terms of oxygen. Again I repeat, BOD gives us the strength of organic matter of wastewater in equivalent of oxygen. Because more the oxygen, more the BOD means more the oxygen consumed by bacteria for oxidizing the organic matter in the wastewater. So more the BOD means more the oxygen requirement. So more strength is the wastewater, so more pollutant is the wastewater. So by determining BOD, we must ascertain how much wastewater is pollutant. That means more BOD means it is more pollutant wastewater. That is why the BOD significance is very, very important for characterization of wastewater, because before the treatment of wastewater, we must know what is the strength of the wastewater, whether it is a weak, whether it is a high strength wastewater. That depends on the value of the BOD. So BOD gives us the carbonaceous organic matter in equivalent of oxygen in milligram per liter consumed by bacteria, required by bacteria to oxidize the organic matter. So it can be determined in the laboratory 5 days in 5 days at 20 degrees centigrade, which is called the BOD5. It can be determined in 3 days at 27 degrees centigrade, which is called BOD3. So BOD are of two types. One is the BOD5, as well as BOD3. But this BOD means biological degradation process is a time-consuming process. So ultimate BOD, we are not going for determining the ultimate BOD, but as for experimental results, we have seen that at least 70% BOD has been achieved in 5 days. So for research analysis without waste time consuming, we can go ahead with the 3 days and 5 days BOD results, because maximum BOD we can obtain in 5 days. And after that, slowly, it will go a longer period for degradation of the organic matter. Now, what is COD? COD is a chemical oxygen demand. Now, in BOD parameter, we can characterize the wastewater in terms of the biological degradation of the wastewater. But COD, both biodegradable and non-biodegradable organic and inorganic matter, both can be determined using the oxidizing agent potassium dichromate, because here the oxidation taken place by potassium dichromate, and it oxidizes both the organic matter as well as the inorganic matter, both biodegradable, both the biodegradable and inorganic non-biodegradable. But the difference between BOD and COD is, in BOD only the biodegradable organic matter are removed. Okay, so this is the basic things of the COD and BOD. So COD value is always higher than the BOD value. Again, I repeat. So COD value is always higher than the BOD value, because it indicates both the biodegradable and non-biodegradable matter. But only to identify the biodegradable matter present in the wastewater, we have to go for the BOD, not COD. So this is the thing. Again, I repeat, the BOD of the sewage is the amount of oxygen required for the biochemical decomposition of biodegradable organic matter under aerobic conditions. The oxygen consumed in the process related to the amount of decomposable organic matter. The general range of BOD of the raw sewage is 100 to 400 milligram per liter in municipal wastewater. Values in the lower range are being common under average Indian city. Generally 100 to 150 milligram per liter is a common in Indian scenario. Now COD gives the measure. Again, I repeat, because these two parameters is main characterization of wastewater, that BOD and COD. That's why I'm repeating twice, to understand, to basically give you the importance of these two characterization. The COD gives the measure of the oxygen required for chemical oxidation. Here only chemical oxidation taking place in presence of the oxidant. What is the oxidant? Potassium dichromate. It does not differentiate between biologically oxidizable and non-oxidizable material. However, the ratio of the COD to BOD ratio does not change significantly for particular waste, and hence this test should be used conveniently for interpreting performance efficiencies of the treatment units. In general, the COD of the raw sewage at various places is reported in the range of 200 to 700 degree, say 700 milligram per liter. You see, the COD value is more than BOD value at all times, because it gives both biological oxidizable and both biodegradable as well as non-biodegradable. It will oxidize. In COD test, the oxidation of organic matter is essentially complete within 2 hours, because the digestion process which you are using in the laboratory, only 2 hours COD digestion takes place. But in BOD, minimum 3 days is required, so it gives a quick result. COD gives us a quick results regarding the strength of wastewater, which BOD you have to wait for 3 days. So that is the advantage of COD. And another thing of COD is that this test has been carried out in presence of acidic medium, H2SO4. But in BOD, if you put the acid, then the bacteria will be died. So that is the advantages of the COD, that BOD, for the BOD test, we have to check the pH value of water. If it is acidic, then the BOD test cannot be done. But in COD, the test itself has been carried out in the acidic medium, that is in H2SO4 medium. So biochemical oxidation of organic matter takes several weeks, that you have seen. But in wastewater, with a large range of organic compounds and extra difficulty in using BOD as quantitative parameter is that the rate of oxidation of organic compounds depends on the nature and size of its molecule. Smaller molecules are readily available for use by bacteria, but large molecules and colloidal and suspended matters can only be metabolized after preparatory steps of the hydrolysis. It is therefore not possible to stabilize the general relationship between the experimental 5-piece BOD and the ultimate BOD of a sample. Oxygen consumption after several weeks for sewage, the BOD5 is 0.68 times the ultimate BOD. As I've told you, approximately 70%. So it is 0.68 means 68% of the ultimate BOD we can achieve in 5 days BOD. That is the general assumption. And ultimate BOD is, again, we can consider 87% of the COD. Hence, the COD BOD ratio for sewage is around 1.7 approximately by thumb rule. We can consider. Now we have described the physical parameter. We have described the chemical parameter like pH value. pH value I have not described. I am going to describe. Chloride content we have described. Nitrogen content we have described. Then the dissolved oxygen chemical BOD value we have described. Now I will describe the pH value. pH value is very, very important. What pH gives us? pH is a characterization of wastewater which you can determine in the laboratory by electrode probe. What is the pH value of water? Because pH ultimately it gives us the concentration of hydrogen ion. That means the depending on from the, if you say the pH equal to X, that means the hydrogen concentration is 10 to the power minus X. If pH equal to 5, that means the hydrogen concentration is 10 to the power minus 5. What does it indicate? It indicates that if pH value, from pH value we can get the hydrogen, we can get the hydroxyl ion, because hydrogen, product of the hydrogen and product of the hydroxyl ion is 10 to the power minus 14. So pH is 5 means H ion is 10 to the power minus 5, means hydroxyl ion is 10 to the power minus 9. So general principle is 7 is the neutral, less than 7 is acidic, more than 7 is alkaline. So whether the wastewater is acidic or alkaline, that can be understood from the pH value, because when you are going for the treatment, say biological treatment, is a traditional male treatment when discussed in the biological treatment, that is the secondary treatment of the wastewater. Before the treatment, starting of the treatment of biologically, we must see whether the wastewater is under acidic state or the alkaline state. If it is acidic, then we must have to add pH by adding the alkali, because as I've told you, the bacteria will not grow in acidic medium. So we must check the pH of the wastewater, because it is a valuable parameter in the operation of the biological treatment. The pH of the fresh sewage is slightly more than because pH of the fresh sewage is generally alkaline. If the wastewater is degraded, that means becomes stale, then it becomes acidic, then the pH drops. So decomposition of the organic matter may lower the pH. So due to the time, decomposition of the organic matter by the bacteria takes place in the sewage, and so then it will lower the value of the pH. While presence of industrial wastewater, it may produce extremely fluctuations. Generally, the pH of raw sewage is in the range of 5.5 to 8, because pH value will monitor the treatment process. So any treatment, before any treatment of wastewater, we must see what is the pH value of the wastewater before starting the treatment process. Last, regarding that wastewater characterization, I will discuss the last characterization topic, that is the toxic metals and compounds. Toxic metals and compounds. This is very important for the industrial wastewater, because the municipal wastewater also contains the industrial wastewater. What is municipal wastewater? It contains the domestic wastewater as well as residential industrial wastewater. So these toxic metals and compounds basically comes from the industrial wastewater. So that is very important to look out, because some heavy metals and compounds such as chromium, from where the chromium comes. Suppose if you are talking for the industry of the tannery industry, now tanning process, chrome tannery, that's tanning, that is the uh, tannery industry. The chromium is the main metal compounds in the wastewater component, because it chrome tannery is used. Chrome tannery is used in the tannery process. So that has to be, it is a carcinogen. So that toxicity is there. Chromium 4, chromium 6, that concentration you must check. Then the copper content, cyanide content, which are toxic, may find their way into municipal sewage through industrial discharge. As I told you, these toxic metals, which are toxic in nature, they are mainly source coming from the industrial wastewater or different industrial wastewater. Now, the concentration of this compound is very, very important if the sewage is to treat by biological treatment method or disposed of in streams or on land. In general, these compounds are within toxic limits in sanitary sewage. So generally the sanitary sewage, there is the problem of the toxic metals. As I've told you, this problem only creates if we see the discharges comes from the industry. However, with receipt of industrial sewage, they may cross the limits in municipal wastewater. So we'll see the discharge limits of the, let us see the discharge limit of the, which we have discussed regarding various parameters. Let us see the discharge limit of that parameters as per the BIA standard. This is the thing, that this is BIS. I think it can be seen. You see the characteristics in the left column, it is shown BOD5, the main parameter I have just highlighted in first, BOD5. What is the inland surface? That is the tolerance limit of industrial effluent discharge. One is the industrial inland surface, another is the public sewer. So as per IS 3306, that is the public sewer, and it is as per the inland surface as per 2490. So we will consider as per the inland surface waters as per IS 2490, that we will see. What is the Bureau of Indian Standard says that BOD5 allowable value is the 30 milligram per liter before discharging into the water. COD is 250 milligram per liter. pH is 5.5 to 9. Total suspended solid is 100 milligram per liter. Temperature maximum 40 degrees centigrade. Oil and grease is 10 milligram per liter. Phenolic compounds, tolerance limit I am just giving. This is the maximum value I am just giving. Then the oil and grease is 10 milligram per liter. Phenolic compounds 1 milligram per liter. Mostly from the paint industry wastewater, these phenolic compounds are coming. Cyanides 0.2 milligram per liter, sulfides 2 milligram per liter, chlorides 2 milligram per liter, total residual chlorine 1 milligram per liter, insecticides 0, arsenic 0.2 milligram per liter, cadmium 2 milligram per liter, chromium 0.1 milligram per liter in the chromium 6, that is hexavalent I am talking. Copper 3 milligram per liter, lead 0.1 milligram per liter, mercury 101 milligram per liter, nickel 3 milligram per liter. Likewise, these lecture notes I am sharing to you, these charts you have to follow. Here every ammonium nitrogen 50 milligram per liter, and the radioactive material, these are all the allowable values, that is the tolerance value, maximum value are given in the BIS code, which I have referred before. That must check, that parameter must check after the treatment whether these are within the allowable limit or not. So that is the basic consideration of the characterization of the wastewater